Hello grade 10, this is Miss Hughes.
And this is Miss OD. Today we're going to look at solving trigonometric equations. We'll start off by doing some simple ones. Essentially we're going to use a lot of what we've already done in this topic, so you need to make sure you remember all your exact values and all your information about the unit circle. So, we've got sine theta equals root 3 on 2, and if we notice in the question that it also tells us that theta has to lie between 0 and 360. The first thing I would do with this question is, because it tells me that theta lies between 0 and 360, I would think to myself, okay, I need to decide which quadrants from our circle my answers will lie in. So the first thing I would do is draw a circle. So then if we magically, look at that. Now, there are lots of different ways to remember the order of this circle. I remember all stations to central, but Miss Hughes, what do you remember?
I remember all silly tomcats.
So you can choose which one you like. And so I would say to myself, right, sine of some angle is a positive answer. What that answer is not so important at this very moment. So okay, it's positive. So then I'd go to my circle and say, right, which quadrants is sine positive in? And if I give a little tick, I know in the first quadrant all of them are positive, so it has to be one there. And then the second quadrant where it's the S, that means sine is positive, so my answer must be positive there.
Not these ones, that would be negative there.
Yes, so I know that I should have two answers, one in the first quadrant, so it will be an acute answer, and one in the second quadrant, so it would be obtuse.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing that I would do is I would say, all right, let's find the acute angle. So the acute angle is always in the first quadrant. Sometimes that will actually be part of our answer. Sometimes we just use it to get our other answers.
Yeah.
So we need to know our exact value triangles. And so I have sine of some angle is root 3 on 2, and I need to work out which angle gives me root 3 on 2.
Should we actually draw the triangle? Might be a good idea.
I think that's a very good idea.
So we always started off with an equilateral triangle. Mm-hmm. So 60, 60, 60. But then, so that's 2, 2, 2. And then just look at half of the triangle. So 2, 1. And then using trigonometry, this gives us root 3. Sorry, using Pythagoras even. Yeah. Mm-hmm. This is 60. And this is 30.
Right. So from that triangle, we're trying to find out which angle. Is it sine 30 or sine 60 that gives me root 3 on 2? Now I know from my SOHCAHTOA, sine uses opposite over hypotenuse.
So we're looking for an opposite of root 3 and a hypotenuse of 2. So is it going to be the 60? Let's just try it. Sine 60 equals, root 3 is the opposite and 2 is the hypotenuse. Yep.
Okay, good. So that would be the first thing I would write down, is that theta equals 60. So I've already ticked my first quadrant because it's positive, I know one of my answers must lie there. So theta equals 60 is my first answer. Mm-hmm. Now I need to find the other answer, the one that's in the second quadrant. And so I know in the second quadrant I have obtuse angles. And I know in my second quadrant to find the obtuse angles, it will be 180 minus the acute angle, which in this case is 60. So 180 minus 60 is 120. So 60, sine 60 and sine of 120 will both give me answers of root 3 on 2.
Yep, I think that's...
And that's solving a simple trig equation.
Okay, should we try another one?
Yep.
All right, so this time we've got cos of theta is minus a half. Again, good idea to think of the unit circle. Miss D's produced one there. Excellent.
Magic.
Okay. So you can't do this in the test, I'm afraid. You have to come up with your own. All right, so we're looking for an angle, a theta, that has a negative cosine. So it can't be this one, because here all the trig values are positive. Here only the sine is positive, so the cos is negative. Here only tan is positive, so cos is negative. Here cos is positive. So both of these have a negative cosine value. So, but we need to find the acute angle first, is that right?
Yeah, even though one of our answers is not in that first quadrant, in the A section, we still need to find the acute angle first. So we want cos of theta, cos of theta equals minus 1/2. So again, we need to use our exact value triangles.
So it could either be the one we had before, or it could be the 45. Let's start with the one we had before. So the one we had before was, it had a 2 here, a 1, and a root 3. And we had 60 and 30. Is that right?
That's right.
In the test, always play it safe and draw the whole the original triangle to start with, just to be sure. And use Pythagoras to check that this is actually the right number. Okay, so we're looking for cos of something equals adjacent over hypotenuse. And we want that to equal, we're ignoring the sign at the moment. We've already dealt with the sign. We know that it's going to be somewhere here.
Good.
We're just looking for a half. So 1 over 2.
Looks like it's 60.
So is it 60 again?
I think it might be.
Let's just check. Adjacent is this one. Yeah. And the hypotenuse is this one. Yeah, so it's got to be 60. So our original, the theta that we're going to use over here is 60. But that is not the answer, because a cos of 60 is actually positive, and we want a negative answer. Should we have called it something different there?
That might confuse.
Yeah. Let's just remember that it's 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we go to our circle again, where we ticked the quadrants. And we know our answer is in the second quadrant. And we know in the second quadrant, to find the matching angle, we do 180 minus theta, where normally we say theta is the acute angle. So in this case, again, it is 60. So we have 180 minus 60. So we get 120 again. So that is one of our answers. And then we go to the other quadrant where we ticked, and that was in the T quadrant, in the third quadrant. And in there, to find the matching angle, we do 180 plus the acute angle, which is 60 in this case, which is 240. So again, we see there are our two answers.
Yeah. So notice the two aspects. You use the ticking to decide to deal with the sign. And then you use your exact values to decide what the number is going to be. Once you know which quadrant to go to.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Let's try the next one.